Hello and welcome back to the Telecom Talk Show, everyone. My name is Tanay Singh Thakur and we are joined by Mr. Jugad Bawa. Today, he's the Director of Sales for South Asia and Middle East at Teoco India. Mr. Jugad, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'd just like to
Absolutely.
start this conversation on a note, where we address the fact that consumer services in the telecom sector have been getting more expensive over the last 2 years, and they are going to further get expensive, right? Because Airtel and Vodafone Idea have already said that they would go ahead with the tariff hikes later in the year. So, at this point, it is only fair for the consumers to expect better services against what they are paying, right? But there's still a large level of dissatisfaction when it comes to consumer services or consumer side. So, why is it happening? The telcos say that they have already optimized the cell performance counters to look good, but still the consumers say that they're not getting good services. So, what is the reason behind it?
Fair point, Tony. First of all, like you said, uh, keeping the cost and the tariffs aside, there definitely is, especially in the urban centers, there's definitely a lot of stress on the network ecosystem that the operators have set up, especially given the limited amount of spectrum that they have in each city, and given the amount of traffic and network that they need to carry. Hence, like you said, the perceived customer experience and the customer expectation in terms of, say, a call drop or buffering in terms of if they're trying to see a video, is very much persistent in the market. And I think the operators are well aware of the fact that they can't take customers and subscribers for granted. If they don't give the level of expected performance in terms of a normal day-to-day cellular behavior, they might churn out. So there is a lot of pressure on the operators, especially from the market internally within the operators. Previously, I would say a network division used to be operating in silos. They used to just give out, they used to just say, okay, fine, the network, this coverage, this capacity, go ahead and sell it. But now with the sales and marketing becoming more intrusive into their operations, they understand that they need, they have to be up to the task, and they need to make sure that any of these, especially in in this phase of social media and all, they need to provide the customer the level of services that they expect.
So, Mr. Jugad, is this something that the Indian telecom operators are already doing? I mean, I'm talking about Geo Analytics because it's a big thing, as I've heard, in helping the telcos improve their network experience for the consumers. Is it already happening? Are you already working with some of the telecom operators, or is it on the books for the telcos?
No, no, I think okay. So just to give you a brief background of where it's coming from. So previously, what happened used to happen was that the customer or an operator used to see the performance of the network at a cell level, right? So what would happen is a cell, for example, would cater to, say, I'm just giving an example, a lakh a call a day. And if the KPI, the key performance indicator of that particular cell said that 99% of the calls went through, that still means there are 1,000 calls that didn't go through, right? So 1,000 calls is a lot of calls. So from a statistical point of view, it looks good, 99% success rate and all. But at a micro level, 1,000 calls means 1,000 individuals having a frustrating day. So that is where geolocation and geoanalytics comes into play. So with geolocation and geoanalytics, what happens is that each event on the network is captured, which is the call trace record. And we then take care of the customer experience and then map it back to the network. So the customer experience comes through the MMR, the measurement reports, the mobile measurement reports, and the call CTRs. They give you details of each event that happened, whether it's a voice event or a data event. They capture it and they tell you, okay, fine, this happened. There was a drop call for this particular subscriber in this particular area. So the benefit that it comes is that the performance KPIs that were coming in, they can be augmented and kind of enhanced with the geolocated information for the operators to then say, okay, fine, I now understand the user behavior between 9 to 5, it's in the urban areas. And say, for example, in Gurgaon, it's in Udyog Vihar or Cyber Hub area. And suddenly after 6 p.m., there's a drought of uh, uh, events over there, and it goes back to the other areas. So Geo Analytics is something that operators in India have recognized. Few of them, few of them have rolled it out at a pan-India basis. Few of them are doing it at the tier one city perspective, and they are trying to use Geo Analytics to do a bit of a more of a proactive planning of the network as well as optimization of the network.
Mr. Jugad, is it possible for you to name the telcos that are doing it at a pan-India level and that are doing it at a micro level?
Let's say I would refrain from doing it, but I think the most of the I mean the tier one operators are already doing it. Yeah, I would say.
Okay, okay.
I would
So, so
and we are
5G is
engaged.
the, all right, all right. So, 5G is the next big thing for the Indian telecom sector, and consumers already have a lot of expectations around it. So, two things that will be possible with 5G is low latency and high bandwidth. All of this will directly contribute to the consumer experience. So, do you think a fast move towards 5G would help the telcos in improving consumer experience, or is it something else entirely?
I think it's a mixed bag because 5G predominantly will be offered to the subscribers and the consumers in India. How much of it is something that they would actually see the difference between the current 4G versus the 5G is something that is debatable, but definitely they will see an improvement in the services. Uh, Obviously, the infrastructure and the smartphone capabilities also matters. The number of 5G handsets in India really need to come up. But having said that, the benefits the consumers will see is going to be through the enterprise and the IoT services the operators start offering, or they start partnering with, for example, from a medical perspective or from an education perspective. So there will be more and more IoT services that will be coming out, which will indirectly, I think, benefit the consumers. They may not just see I mean, from a day-to-day voice perspective, it remains the same. Data quality should improve and will improve, but the main benefit for the consumers will be coming in through the IoT services.
Okay. So, Mr. Jugad, what is Teoco's role here? What is Teoco doing, or how is it helping the Indian telcos or the telcos around the world in improving the customer experience? Is it just through Geo Analytics, or you guys also offer other services?
Okay, fine. First of all, Teoco's main forte is in the telco domain. So we are totally a telco domain expertise company. We offer end-to-end services as well as solutions to the operators to understand and deploy the network, run the network, optimize the network, and then link it all with the customer behavior. For example, we would be able to, for example, geoanalytics is not the only thing that we offer. We offer services and solutions, for example, spectrum refarming, for planning a network, for consolidating the network. So, and especially from a consumer perspective, we have been focused on making sure that the network team understands the consumer behavior and the pattern of usage of the consumers. For example, typically, especially when today's world has a VIP customer. So even before a VIP customer is able to call into a call center, they should be aware of why is he calling you. So if he's calling you for a drop call or for a drop session or a frustrating day in a certain area, through some of our solutions and services, we can already highlight that and provide that information to the CRM team as well. And that this gives the consumer a level of little bit of more personal touch of the operator, right? He doesn't have to go through a complete gyan of what was his day like or what was his issue and report it. So I'm just giving an example of how this happens. And apart from that, we also enable the operators uh, to do long-term strategic thinking and planning based on revenue as well as cost basis for the network. I mean, it's very easy to say set up a site over here or in an XYZ site place, but then we need to then predict and inform and give relevant information to the operator to say, okay, fine, is this site going to be commercially viable? Or is it going to be something that is going to be more of a cost center rather than a revenue center? So all of these things, including future forecasting of the growth that is required, all those kind of things is something that we are able to then help the operators understand. So it's an end-to-end cycle. where we have a play. We can do it in silos, in different parts of it, or for end-to-end service.
Okay, so Jugad, is Geoanalytics only something that will help the telcos with their retail clients or direct consumers, or is it also going to help them with enterprise clients?
For both. For both.
Both.
Yeah,
Okay.
for both as well. For both. To the extent to even deep dive further with the Geo Analytics, it's not just the once we capture the event of a subscriber, that event has information right down to details of the device as well.
Okay.
So we can also enable the operator to understand that maybe there's an issue with a certain device or a device type. If we see
Gotcha.
there's a pattern to it. So that is something that has already been recognized by some operators in India that, okay, fine, maybe there is a rogue device out there, so which needs to be addressed by the OEM itself, because then it's very easy to just blame the operator for bad service, but it could also be potentially a patch on the software patch of the device as well. And furthermore, even from an enterprise point of view, enterprise can be from a land, can be a corporate customer. So we can then offer them better services and the SLAs as well. So with Geoanalytics, we can then help the customer understand how to maybe renegotiate the SLAs and especially the penalties attached to it.
Okay. So I guess it's safe to assume that with 5G, the role of geoanalytics would only grow further, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So that will be all from my side, Mr. Jugad. Thank you for joining us and giving your valuable time. I hope we can do more such sessions in the future. Thank you.
Thanks a lot very much. Thank you very much.